Just hours ahead of the first Democratic presidential debate, new numbers indicate the party's most electable figure is not even on the stage. This is Special Report. Good evening, I'm Shannon Bream for Brett Baer, who is on assignment. Hillary Clinton enters tonight's Las Vegas debate with a sizable lead over fellow Democrats. But as she deals with the ongoing fallout from her email scandal, it appears Americans are much more willing to support Vice President Joe Biden if and when he decides to jump in. Chief White House correspondent Ed Henry has tonight's top story from Las Vegas.
The stage is set for the Democrats to finally debate after two Republican showdowns. While frontrunner Hillary Clinton and the others have insisted their debates will have more substance than the Donald Trump-dominated GOP slugfest, Democrats today threw punches before the debate. Democratic National Committee Vice Chair Tulsi Gabbard charging the DNC Chairwoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz is lying.
It's not surprising to me that she is saying things that aren't true.
Gabbard insists she was disinvited from tonight's debate for demanding more than just 4 Democratic showdowns before Iowa and New Hampshire, a DNC move that has led critics to charge the limited debates coddle Clinton.
This he said, she said is so silly. This is so ridiculous. We need this is my point. We need to focus on our candidates.
Nevada senior Senator Harry Reid tried to mediate by slamming Gabbard.
Well, I didn't think the Congresswoman from Hawaii was running for president. So what's she concerned about?
As soon as Clinton arrived in Las Vegas, she raced to Trump's hotel here, which happens to be across the street from the debate site at the Wynn Las Vegas. Clinton struggling to get key union endorsements, eager to greet culinary workers protesting Trump.
If you are going to run for president, then you should represent people of the United States.
Despite Clinton's attempt to take on Trump, a new Fox poll shows she would lose to him and all of the other top Republicans in hypothetical matchups. While Vice President Joe Biden leads all of the major Republicans head-to-head in that new Fox poll. Biden decided not to use a 6th podium waiting here for him, though the draft Biden team is out with a new ad, hoping to get him in the race soon.
And you deserve a president who will never quit on you.
Democratic Socialist Senator Bernie Sanders and the others have never been tested on such a big stage, while Clinton went through 19 debates with then-Senator Barack Obama others in 2008.
I think what we'll see tonight is that Hillary Clinton will be the clear victor on that podium tonight. And I'm not certain that anybody's going to want to go up against her beyond today.
Now, 2 big Democrats will not be in the hall tonight and will be watching on TV. Bill Clinton and Joe Biden. I'm told the former president is planning to attend a watch party here. He didn't want all the TV cutaway shots to be looking at his body language, while the VP is going to be home hosting a high school reunion. Shannon?
All right, Ed Henry live in Vegas. Thanks, Ed. On the Republican side, the candidate once considered the likely is the attack tonight. Jeb Bush, a non-factor so far despite his fundraising prowess, is trying to appeal on a red meat issue. Chief political correspondent Carl Cameron has that story tonight.
With the Democrats debating tonight, Jeb Bush sought to inject himself and his plan to repeal and replace Obamacare into the mix and put them on the spot for backing what he calls its failure.
They will be strongly supportive of this top-down driven, highly bureaucratic insurance plan that is stifling our ability to rise up. Because for the Democrats, this is what they want. This is how they roll.
Instead of the president's promise of universal coverage and lower insurance premiums, Bush noted administration estimates that premiums will instead rise $2,900 over the next 10 years, and 27 million people will not be covered.
You can't fix something that was a failure from the start. We have to start over.
Bush later toured a New Hampshire medical device manufacturer to underscore his plans. He would make insurance portable across state lines, expand health savings accounts, bolster individual insurance markets and employer-sponsored coverage, provide tax credits to those without employer coverage, deregulate, and unleash technological innovation. The latest Fox News poll has Donald Trump steady in the low 20s and Ben Carson surging 11 points since August to a virtual tie. Ted Cruz has moved into third, the only other candidate in double digits. Carly Fiorina got a bounce after the last debate, but has since lost about half that surge. Trump plans to live tweet tonight's Democratic debate. He went after a college student this morning for this question at the No Labels conference in New Hampshire yesterday.
So maybe I'm wrong, maybe you can prove me wrong, but I don't think that you're a friend to women.
I knew I shouldn't have picked her. I knew I shouldn't have picked her. All right, so let me give you that answer right now. I
respect women incredibly.
Trump trashed her today, tweeting, quote, "The arrogant young woman who questioned me in such a nasty fashion at No Labels yesterday was a Jeb staffer. How can he beat Russia and China?" Bush's communications director tweeted back, "For what it's worth, Lauren is not a Jeb staffer, but the Jeb staff is amused by how sensitive Donald is to being challenged by women. She's a volunteer supporter. Didn't agree with her cue for question, but boy is Trump sensitive when challenged by women."
When reporters ask tough questions, politicians know they can gain sympathy and change the subject sometimes just by attacking the press. We may see some of that at the debate tonight. But attacking citizens at town halls designed for them to ask whatever is on their mind is a very risky proposition in Iowa, New Hampshire, and South Carolina.
Yeah, it can backfire. All right, we'll see you for all the late coverage tonight.
You bet.
Thanks, Carl. Well, Planned Parenthood is making a major change in its policy regarding fetal tissue research and the market for aborted baby parts. Here's correspondent Peter Ducey.
Today, Planned Parenthood said they'll stop asking their partners to reimburse them for money spent collecting fetal tissue after abortions. The tissue is still going to get collected, but now nobody else will chip in to cover costs. The group's president explains in a letter to the National Institutes of Health that, quote, "Any Planned Parenthood health center that is involved in donating tissue after an abortion for medical research will follow the model already in place at one of our 2 affiliates currently facilitating donations for fetal tissue research. That affiliate accepts no reimbursement for its reasonable expenses." Planned Parenthood has been trying to convince Congress that it still needs $500 million a year from the government, much of it from Medicaid, ever since undercover videos surfaced appearing to show its associates haggling over the price of body parts and organs. The women's health provider has insisted there's nothing to those clips.
Planned Parenthood has been in the news recently because of deceptively edited videos released by a group that is dedicated to making abortion illegal in this country.
But the producer of the videos sees things differently, telling Fox Today that, quote, "For 3 months, Planned Parenthood has tried to pass off its baby parts for money scheme as totally legitimate. Today, Planned Parenthood's latest PR stunt of so-called policy change is an admission of guilt." On Capitol Hill, Oversight Committee Chairman Jason Chaffetz said today, quote, "This is a good, tangible result of the collective efforts of the House in investigating Planned Parenthood," adding congressional scrutiny will continue, something pro-life groups are happy to hear.
No organization that is fraught with the kind of scandal and abuse that Planned Parenthood is engaged in should receive a dime of taxpayer funding. Until they clean up their act, they should not receive any more.
Planned Parenthood insists the way they've been collecting fetal tissue goes above and beyond what's required by the law. But its critics say if that's been the case, it raises the question, why make a change at all? Shannon?
Peter Ducey, thank you. Up next, the difference between what the president's saying and what's happening regarding Syria. First, though, here's what some of our Fox affiliates around the country are covering tonight. Fox 4 in Kansas City, where 2 veteran firefighters were killed battling an apartment fire Monday night. The fire chief says the men were helping rescue people from burning apartments that had collapsed. Fox Connecticut and Hartford, where a woman loses her lawsuit against her nephew, saying the 8-year-old leaped into her arms to greet her, causing her to fall and break her wrist. Jennifer Connell wanted $127,000 from the boy, whose mother died last year. Connell says the injury has made climbing the stairs to her apartment and having a social life difficult. And this is a live look at Denver from Fox 31. One story there tonight, Marine reservists running the annual Toys for Tots campaign. They're having a tough time finding a warehouse. The reason? Commercial space is at a premium because of the booming marijuana industry. The charity needs someone to donate a 25,000 square foot space, so organizers do not have to divert funds for toys to pay rent. That's tonight's live look outside the Beltway from Special Report. We will be right back.